Yo, what is up, guys? It's Kainbeats here with a random Reddit readout. That's right, I'm here to deliver you some random stories off Reddit any day of the week. If you want the subreddit, I'll leave the links in the description, and if you have any stories, leave them in the comments and I'll give them a like and reply. Anyways, without further ado, let's get to the first story. Yo, and we're back here with the update on the fooled my cheating soon-to-be ex-wife into thinking I was cheating, and then thermonuclear shinobi ghosted and served her Christmas Day. Okay, so since none of the other relationship subs are allowing me to post an update and I can't post new topics on r/nuclear revenge, I'm putting the update here on my profile. There are two key events that happened over the course of the last 2 weeks that I want to highlight before the meeting with my soon-to-be ex-wife and her lawyer. Christmas Day was the first full day I spent in my new apartment. It's still a work in progress as I have more stuff I want to get, but overall I've made it my home. Since I'm going to be there for the next 2 years at least, my boys and my eldest girlfriend came over and spent a good portion of the day with me. The girlfriend brought over treats that she had made and also whipped up some really nice meals. I got to sit and talk with my sons in a way I hadn't even done in a really long time, and it was nice. My big sis also came over with more goodies and hung out with us also. It had been the first time since she'd seen her nephews in nearly over a year. Having all of them around me did some real good. As I were by myself, I think I would have ended up drinking myself into a stupor. Everyone cleared out around 8ish, and I decided I wanted to go hang out with Joey and his wife Claudia. Hung out with them for a couple hours, had a couple drinks, and then went back home. The next big development happened last week, 12/29/20. Around midday, I got a text from Nina asking if I was busy that night. I, of course, wasn't, so we agreed to meet up after I got off work. She shows up, and we go to dinner, not far from where I work. Here in NYC, we're doing an indoor dining at 25% capacity thanks to the Rona, but there's mostly no trouble getting seats because so many of us opt not to dine out as much these days. I mean, regardless. So, after we're seated and order some food, Nina pretty much lays out all of her cards on the table, and honestly, I knew this was coming. She basically confessed that she likes me all the way back since we were teenagers, but never got the chance to tell me since Sue swooped in and scooped me up before she could. For context, I've known Nina longer than Sue by 2 years. As I mentioned, she's been the fourth point in my social square of myself, Oz, and Joey. We were the social outcasts in high school, the raver kids who didn't fit in to all the other cliques. Back then, Nina had a weight problem and was diabetic, but other than that, she was a heavyset goth chick who was super cool. But no guy would ever give her a second glance. But we always had chemistry. These days, Nina is a personal trainer and yoga instructor. She was the ugly duckling who grew into one hell of a beautiful swan, if I must say. Long story short, we decided that upon finalization of my divorce, we were going to start seeing each other, and yeah, I slept with her that night. Took her back to my new pad, and we had a grand old time. Am I ashamed of sleeping with her? Hell no. Nina's been a better friend to me than Sue ever was. That's not saying Sue wasn't my best friend, but through the near quarter of a century I've known Nina, she's always supported me. Even so much as I learned that day, willingly taking a step back with her own feelings to allow me to pursue and eventually start a new life with Sue. That resonated with me on a level I didn't even think it would. This kind of selflessness towards another person is the definition of real love. I know, it sounds like I'm just trying to justify in my head that sleeping with her was the right decision. To me it was, and I plan on exploring what's to come with Nina and I with total commitment. Okay, on to yesterday. The day I met with my wife and her lawyer to discuss the divorce. It's now been 2 weeks since I ghosted soon-to-be ex-wife. This past Monday, I got a phone call from my staking that Sue's attorney has scheduled a meeting with us to discuss the terms of the divorce on January 6, 2021, which was yesterday. I met with him on Tuesday morning to discuss the terms I'm wanting. Long story short, uncontested divorce under the grounds of marital neglect from Sue. My terms are full division of assets and me selling my half of the house ownership to her. She can have it. We keep our respective vehicles, I keep my cabin in the Poconos, and under the pretenses of marital neglect, she gets no spousal support from me. As for 17, what I'll refer to my son as from here on, he's free to choose who he wants to reside with following the divorce, which will most likely be me. So Wednesday come, and I show up to my lawyer's office dressed in my Johnny Cash best. My wife and her lawyer look like shit, barely holding it together. I give the stone face. I won't bore you with the lawyer babble, but her lawyer presented an offer on terms of reconciliation. I shot them down almost as soon as she finished listing the details of the request. Like I said, I'll spare you the details of the meeting. Long story short, we agreed to a legal separation leading to an uncontested divorce. The only revision is that I will pay her $653 a month of temporary spousal support to cover the cost of utilities until she's gainfully employed again. Yup, she got fired for effing POS. He got canned as well, up to a year after the finalization. I made enough that it won't hurt me financially, even if she drags her feet finding a new job, and she got enough of her savings to live off of for quite some time. Once a full calendar year has passed after the finalization date of the divorce, she's on her own. Small price to pay for being rid of her cheating ass. It'll take roughly 3 months for things to go through, so early April if there's no cock-ups. I'll be free of her. So after the meeting, my lawyer gives me some final words before telling me he'll be in touch to update me in the progress of the filing. Back out in the street, Sue chases me down and asks can we talk. I figured I'd give her at least that. She held it together fairly well in the meeting, but outside let the waterworks flow, saying how sorry she was, and how she never meant it to go as far as it did. She said she never expected to fall in love with POS, but knew when she thought I was cheating how wrong it was to betray her own husband in such a way. She asked could I ever find it in my heart to forgive her, and that maybe in a few years could we try to start over, that she can't imagine what her life is going to be without me. I told her to start imagining it soon, because this will be the last time I ever speak or see her. I told her that 17 is almost a man, and old enough to make his own choices as to his own future. I said that I gave her half of my life and every ounce of love I had unconditionally, and then she, in her own words, fell in love with another man, and that there is absolutely no chance of me ever forgiving her, and that all the time that I had for her was slowly killed all those months that she confided and professed her love to POS. Rather than coming to me and telling me that she had any form of issue with how things were going with us. I told her I loved who she was, but I hate who stands before me, and that if I never see her again, it'll be too soon. Hold up, let me take a juice box break.
Want some tea? Give me my tea, bitch! Damn! That shit good!
Here we are on the sidewalk in Midtown Manhattan. Her making a scene crying her eyes out. A couple folk walk by and give side glances, but at this point I didn't even care. I wasn't about to publicly humiliate her. I pretty much socially and professionally destroyed her, but I needed to get the last bit of emotion I had out for her. I finished by telling her off and that I didn't regret the 23 years I spent being her husband. I regretted that in 23 years she decided the easy way out was the better option. And I have you lovely SOBs on Reddit to thank for this one, because it popped in my head just seconds before I said it. For 23 years I thought she was mine, but it turned out it was just my turn. Ooh! Put on my Raycons, turned around, and I walked the F away. Later that night, her father calls me and apologizes. He praises me for always being a good man to his daughter and tells me he's ashamed of her and that he raised her better than what she did. Not gonna lie, I'm gonna miss the old man. My dad died years ago, so he's always been my default father figure since, but I can't see myself maintaining a relationship with anyone on her side of the family. After that call, I went on Facebook and symbolically changed my relationship status to divorce. Yeah, it's not final yet, but in my eyes, it's over and done. Like I said, when I make a post on Facebook, it's an event, so plenty of folks started hitting me up over Messenger asking questions, and I laid it all out that I filed for divorce with Sue earlier that day. Of course, Nina called me, shocked, and I pulled the trigger so fast. Obviously, I was already in the process of it when we spoke, but she had no way of knowing how far it was along. I asked her if she could come over, and of course she comes a-running. We beaten down the Doonies, but this time, she stayed the night. We laid in my bed and talked into the wee hours of the morning, and I haven't felt this level of relief and connection in a really long time. Nina gets me, and I can't get enough of being around her. Since the day she confided in me that she's all that's been on my mind. Yeah, I know some folks are gonna say it's effed up that I'm moving on so fast, but as far as I'm concerned, my marriage ended the day POS let Sue touch his pecker, so I'm about due. So yeah, my divorce is in the works and I'm moving on to start a relationship with Nina. I know in a comment response to someone I said I'd probably never marry again, but that was before Nina came clean to me about how she felt towards me, and I can't deny that I feel the same. We're gonna take it slow and we're not announcing anything until the divorce with Sue is legal and official. As for Sue, I could give a flying F what happens to her. She could move POS into our old home for all I care. I'll be getting my money for the house over the course of 2021, 4 quarterly installments, and aside from the $653 I will have to pay directly to her savings account monthly, I never have to see or speak to her ever again. To all the words of support, encouragement, and praise, I eternally thank you all. Whew, yeah, bro, Yeah, that wasn't much of an update. Let's check the other one. That's something about it getting worse. I'm gonna just skim it so I don't make this video too long. Okay, so this is the new thing. Okay, this brings us to last night. As only my closest friends, 2 sons, older sisters, and mother have my new contact info. And I've completely blocked my soon-to-be ex-wife on all social outlets, so she has no means of reaching me since I left her on Xmas Eve. But some of our mutual friends still do. Last night I'm hanging out in my apartment and I get a voice call notification on Messenger from one of my said friends, one of the few who hadn't abandoned her following me after the affair. She didn't waste any time when I answered, and she said she went to check on Sue, the soon-to-be ex-wife, and found her passed out in the bedroom, foaming out of her mouth with 2 bottles of empty pills next to her. Oh no. She's in the ICU in critical but stable condition. The doctor said that she will likely pull through, and she's clearly not going to be well after. She begged and pleaded for me to come. Her parents and 2 sisters were also there at the hospital. My guess is that they were notified after the hospital attempted to notify me, but Sue would still have my old number as her emergency contact. I simply told her no. Oh, Sue's not my problem anymore, and she clearly decided that she wants to take the easy way out rather than deal with the shame and agony of the 23-year marriage she blew up. I then told her that if Sue's family were there and they could help her sort out all of the pieces. But as far as Sue and I are concerned, there is no Sue and I anymore. I then ended the call. I've had a few hours to sleep on it, and my sons called me in the morning asking if I knew. I told them yes, but I also let both of them know that if they wanted to be there in support of their mother, I will not hold it against them or judge them for it. She is their mother after all, but I myself wash my hands of her and care little of nothing about what she does or to herself anymore. They were both a little taken back by this, but respected my stance. However, now that the news is broke about her suicide attempt, many of her friends who dropped her are all starting to surface again and saying I need to be there for her. That even despite what she did to me, I need to support her in her time of need. I've also been informed that her AP tried to visit her this morning, but also wasn't allowed because he's not family. I'm getting dogpiled on to go see her, but I feel nothing for this woman anymore. I haven't for a long time. I checked out during the process of getting my payback for her betrayal, and I stand by the fact that I don't care for her at all for what she's done. In fact, it makes me hate her even more. She's the one who was unfaithful. She's the one who threw a near year-long fling with the guy 5 years older than our oldest son, and she thought it was worth destroying 23 years? And now she wants me to face the consequences of her choices? She chooses the most selfish way to deal with it. Even now, seeing as she's in all likelihood going to survive, she's cultivated immediately sympathy from everyone who took her to task. And I'm going to be made out to look like a jaded ex-husband unwilling to sympathize with her by most of her family, not her dad. He reached out to me over the last few hours and said he respects my decision to stay away. Dang. Yeah, he's saying it. I am not going to visit Sue. It seems like most of this is like him just talking trash about her. TLDR, fooled my soon-to-be ex-wife into thinking I was cheating for 4 months while she was having a year-long affair with a younger man. Executed a plan to destroy her life during the process, culminating with ghosting her. Executed a plan to destroy her life during the process, culminating with ghosting her and serving her divorce papers that she slept over Xmas even. Watched her life upended over the next 4 days while completely off the grid from her. Divorce hearing was last week. Settled on full separation leading to uncontested divorce. Last night she tried to unalive herself by overdosing on pills. Now everyone within her circle was ostracizing her for cheating on me, is now flocking to her for support and are actually mad at me for not doing the same. Seriously, F my life. You know, I can understand that. That seems like very toxic, bro. It's tough, for real. I definitely wouldn't go back. I mean, I get it, I respect it. To be honest, I'd move. Get away from them, change your number. Canada, they're looking nice this time of year. All right, I want to thank you guys so much for checking out my video. I hope it wasn't too long. I know my last one was a bit long. I plan to start reading some more scary stories because we are in the month of October. But I want to thank you guys so much for joining me, for real. Like, I appreciate all of you, and I hope you guys have a very great day. Hit that like button and leave a comment below. I'm gonna leave the links to this Reddit below, so you can also check it out in the description. And if you guys need anything, just hit me up in the comments. I'll respond. All right, I hope you guys have a great night. Peace.